Perfect. So the reason why I invited you to this Pride Festival is because um, ever since I've known you, I've obviously known where you come from, uh, and now I think you've reached a point in life where you are able to express yourself in a way that isn't so common for people who come from a culture such as yours.
Yeah.
I think that you can be an inspiration for a lot of people. So, what I want you to do first is just introduce yourself. Tell us your name, your profession, what you like to do.
So my name is Mario. I live in Halifax, Canada. I come originally from Lebanon, and I am a chemical engineer by profession. I work in pharmaceutical manufacturing, so it's a bit of a heavy field. And yeah, I love photography, and when there's no coronavirus, I love traveling, and I have a dog that I love a lot.
Perfect. If you check out his Instagram, you can see that he loves photography. So, my next question for you. So, you said that you're from Lebanon. You openly said this, okay? So, what I want to know, not from a personal perspective, but based off of the facts, okay, that you I think are um, the best one to give this type of information. It wouldn't be correct for me to give this type of information because I haven't lived there. I haven't been in the situation. So this is why I invited you. This live, I want to focus a lot on diversity. So as a lot of you guys will notice, I didn't interview any Caucasian people. So sorry, but I think that this is a moment in time where we need to focus on diversity, on Black people, brown people, and other ethnicities. Okay. So, Mario, what is it like to be gay in the Middle East? Can you give us kind of like a summary? What is it like? Is there a gay culture? Is it dangerous? Does it depend on the country? Can you give us a little bit of information?
Yeah, I mean, the Middle East as a whole is not, as you know, accepting whatsoever. It's not a place where you could go and like wave your rainbow flag. Actually, about 2 weeks ago, I was at a candlelight sigil here in Halifax for an Egyptian girl who was openly queer, and she waved the rainbow flag in Egypt 2 years ago. She was arrested, and she was for 3 months. She was tortured, beaten, electrocuted, um, raped, all because she was openly queer. And then a Canadian association here was able to get her out of Egypt and bring her to Toronto, but she couldn't live with the scars of what happened to her, so she ended up taking her own life. So, so to me, when I went to that sigil, that brought up a lot of emotions because this is something that you grow up with. I didn't know what it was like to be what is when I was a kid. I was like, I had the feelings, but I didn't know what it was because I was never exposed to any of it.
It
So
wasn't in your surroundings, right?
it wasn't even a concept to know
Okay,
what gay is,
growing up,
or
right?
yeah, so like if you see a gay guy, they'd call him effeminate or something like that, and it's like I don't even understand. And then they'd make fun of him and stuff. So you try to, as much as you can, not to be that person, and it becomes so embedded in you that it becomes the norm to hide who you are, and you get lost in that, and you reach an age where you want to be who you are, but you can't, and it's a lot. Obviously, there's laws against it. However, I know in Lebanon, especially in most recent years, some courts have ruled against it because the law says it's unnatural sexual behavior. However, these recent events where the court of laws ruled that no, that like homosexual sex or whatever is natural. It's not unnatural, it does exist in nature. So therefore it is not unnatural, and therefore it is not a crime. That Now when I say that, I do not dismiss the fact that if a gay guy or a lesbian or any member of the LGBTQ plus community is being caught in a sexual act or whatever, I do not dismiss the fact that they will be taken into police custody, they will be tortured, they will be made fun of in the society, they will hold that stamp of shame for the rest of their lives.
Exactly.
And I think that was my biggest motivation to move to Canada, because I could not live with that stamp of shame where you will never be able to be anything because that's all as you're labeled as this person who
The
is
devil almost, right?
exactly according to this society. You're this failure, this person with that stamp that you'll never get rid of, and you will never grow, you'll never have a career, you'll never be happy, your family will never accept you, you will always live in that shadow, in that box that the society built for you, and almost like hide you in that closet forever because you brought shame on us.
Uh-huh. And look at you now. You are a chemical engineer. You work for a pharmaceutical company. You are what I would consider successful.
And not only that, it's the fact that like they will look at you and be like, oh, you could have like 700 university certificates and degrees, and they will mean nothing because you are this. So it's like to them, what are the what topples what at the end of the day, and like exactly what religion sets for you or the society or anything really, that's their priority. That's what they set their example on, whether you're successful or a failure or whether you're a good person or a bad person. It's all based on these ancient scriptures that are like been there for thousands of years and telling us how to live. However, people like to take these, they're just a bunch of stories, and people like to take them and make their own definition of everything.
Exactly.
And that's how everybody likes to understand things. So
Very good, Mario. I think that you gave everyone a good understanding of what it's like to be gay in the Middle East. I think the example you gave of the Egyptian girl, I think this is something very powerful. I think that what you said about moving to Canada to feel this freedom, I think that this also says mentions something about how serious this is, right? So thank you for sharing that. I know it's definitely not an easy story to share. Um, we know that there are a lot of Middle Eastern men who are unfortunately living in the closet because they didn't have the motivation that you had, right? So hopefully, if there's any here in Brazil, actually, there's a big Lebanese community. So if there are
mm-hmm.
any Lebanese here in Sao Paulo who would like to talk, you can message us. Maybe message Mario. We're gonna leave his Instagram
Yeah.
and whatnot down in the right hand corner. Perfect. So what our next question is so Mario, I know you like to party. We've gone out a few times. Who's your favorite gay diva?
It all depends on the mood. However, if I'm going out and dancing and partying, everyone loves a good Lady Gaga. And
Exactly.
you know that. I mean, also Beyonce, come on. However, I think Lady Gaga takes the top spot.
Yes, I think Lady Gaga stands for everything that we are. I think
Exactly.
that she's very vocal. She kind of, in a way, other than because Madonna and her come from two different generations, but Lady Gaga, she was very expressive of the LGBTQ community. So I would say as well, Lady Gaga is quite important within our community and is definitely a gay diva. My next question, the last question of our interview is, what do you hope for the future of LGBTQ plus rights?
I would hope that everyone gets equal rights at the end of the day. You shouldn't be ashamed to walk down the street and not be able to hold hands. You shouldn't be ashamed to like kiss your partner if you want. You shouldn't have issues going to order a cake for your wedding or for your birthday or whatever. You shouldn't I know people that have very strong opinion against gay people adopting kids, and it's just I think it's ridiculous how like other people can dictate how other people can live their lives.
Exactly. It's like
Like,
mind your business.
and they tell you, oh, but like this is coming from a place of love because we know you and we know this, and it's like, okay, no, like you can't let like it's like especially with family members. I know everybody loves their family members, but love yourself first. You,
Exactly.
you can't let the people you love dictate how you love. And I think that's very important.
And I had a discussion this week with someone, and it was very profound. And what I said to them, because they're living in a situation where their family's not accepting that they're trans, The family is having pastors and whatnot go to his house to throw like uh,
Water.
holy water on him and like forcing him to do things that he does not want to do. And I said to him, this is something I said, you know what? Of course, we love our family. We want to make our family proud. But at the end of the day, sometimes, especially within this community, sometimes we make our own family. Sometimes our family isn't necessarily blood. Sometimes our family is the people who accept us for who we are, the people who we can be ourselves around, the people who we can spend the holidays with, you know?
Yep.
Family is something blood, right? Family is
Yep.
blood, but we can create our own families. So if there's anyone out there who is feeling as if my family doesn't accept me because of this, I'm trans, I'm gay, I'm whatever, non-binary, you know, don't fear the fact that you can create your own family. There are lots of places, lots of organizations nowadays that are willing to take you in. If you need someone to talk to, you can get in contact with us. We can maybe lead you in the right direction. As Mario said, this girl was brought to, this Egyptian lady was brought to Canada through a program. So if you are in the situation of violence, or we saw this in Russia as well, right? We
Mm-hmm.
saw that in
Yep.
Russia. Canada sent over kind of like an undercover group to kind of save the gays who were being held hostage and were being tortured. So we have a lot of resources. We just need to not be afraid to be who we are. And I think that everyone needs to be very open with themselves and share their stories with people who they feel connected to. Maybe find an internet friend, you know, maybe someone here in Brazil who is Lebanese doesn't necessarily know you personally, but maybe you guys can connect in some way or another, you know, just based off of the culture, you know. Me, for example, I'm here to talk to anyone for free, you know, like for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's something. So this is what pride is. Pride isn't just a party for me. Of course it's a party, but pride is about politics. Pride is about being yourself. Pride is about people who are unable to be themselves, you know?
Yep.
So Mario, I want to thank you very, very much for this interview. I think that this is going to shine a lot of light on what it is like to be gay in the Middle East, or trans, or non-binary, or whatever it may be. What we are going to do is we are going to put your Instagram down in the right-hand corner. Guys, Mario is recently single, okay? So if anyone's looking for a cute Lebanese boy, this is your guy. Okay, I'll hook you two up. And Mario, when are you coming to Brazil?
Whenever the airports are open and I can fly.
Alrighty. Perfect. So I know you have a brunch. We'll talk later. And it was so great having you. Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao. Beijos.